Can you tell us the story of how kind of the three of you got connected, and maybe the origin or birth story of Liv?
Love to. And so we, the original multifamily organization is based out of Michigan. It was called IPA at the time, which, tying back to an earlier story about how I entered the real estate industry, IPA at the time stood for Investment Property Associates. When that bell went off about we're really in the people and hospitality business, we changed IPA into what was our, how we branded our values back then into integrity, people, and action, because investment property, that's not what it was about for us. It was about the people. So IPA at the time, which became Liv, entered the Phoenix, the Southwest market in Phoenix specifically in 2007. And anybody in the real estate industry knows what happened next in the real estate industry. We acquired we acquired an asset in Phoenix that was outside of, say, our wheelhouse. And that's really where we started talking about how we were going to serve our residents at a deeper level. And we were talking about, we are in the people business here. How are we going to really connect? How are we going to connect with our residents at a deeper level, but also encourage them to connect with each other at a deeper level? And we're just, again, continue to get really positive feedback. And then we see, fast forward to 2010, 2011, now the development cycle is starting to pick up again, and we start building from the ground up and really being able to design the concept from the ground up. And that's really when the Liv brand was born.
How is Liv thinking about creating these great rental communities where folks can live for a long time, really make it their home? And how is it benefiting both the residents and the investors?
Sure. Well, love this question, Peter, because we spend a lot of time talking about that American dream and what it means to us as Americans. And, so I've asked, admittedly, ChatGPT in the past, what is it? Why is the American dream associated with owning a home? And not, no terrible surprises there, but it talked about financial security. Owning a home represents financial security. It represents personal achievement. It represents independence. It represents accomplishment. Those are really, really important, deep-rooted values of our country and probably of people throughout the world. And so a question we often ask is, how do we fiercely hold on to those values, but explore ways where maybe we can decouple that from the how of owning a home? In fact, are there ways to achieve these values of financial security, personal achievement, independence, accomplishment, but maybe even add on to that a greater level of hospitality, a greater sense of community, greater friendships, and maybe even more flexibility? So we can have all of those things. Could it possibly equal to even greater levels of happiness and fulfillment? We think so. And so that's really what Liv has been trying to tackle is how do we move past this idea that home ownership is the only or even the primary means to reaching the American dream and these values we speak of, and instead, meet those values, but also meet some additional ones as well.
One of the challenges is, getting residents to participate in these programs, and getting that cohesion, that positive flywheel happening. How have you done that? What's the secret? Yeah, how do you do that with your team members? And I assume it has a lot to do with, Scott, what you talked about, that people first type of mentality and the values that you all, um, you know, ascribe to Liv?
Yes, absolutely it does. Everything you said, it absolutely does. There's a few things that come to mind when you ask that question because I totally agree with you. I feel it too. And sometimes when I feel like I'm not feeling it as much, it's probably because I'm just getting used to it. And so then I have my expectations are there. And then people will come and visit and say, "Oh my gosh, your team's amazing." I felt so different there where I was shopping some other communities and I came to yours and was like, "What? Where am I?" And so
Yeah.
I remind myself it's pretty amazing. It is magical. And there's a few things that come to mind. First, it's who you recruit, right? Because you want the people that are like-minded and that resonate with your values and that are those service-minded people. And they're other people. And it's not what's in it for me. It's really how can I contribute? What kind of purpose can I have in my role? And will it make a difference? Will it matter? And those type of people are who are attracted to our value system and our brand. And so then they naturally kind of fit in well. And we've talked about this so much on our team that our value system, it keeps the great people there long term, and it kind of spits out those that don't, kind of fit in with that type of mindset. And that's good, and it naturally does it. And so that's why you feel that at every community you go to. It really is truly part of the fabric of who we are. And then of course we do train around it too. So it's like we want to reinforce those things. So our training is built around a lot of skills. It's built around finding the yes for the customer. Give the extra love every time you interact. No interaction should be neutral. Neutral is to us, that's a red light, not a yellow one. It's little things like that that teach our team members that there's a pledge. It's over here on my wall. We have a pledge that every team member sort of agrees to, but of course it's a happy one. It's one you would want to agree to. But it tells you the mindset and the thought process. Like if you're approached with something, you can solve the problem. Just use these types of thought processes, solve them in a way that's advantageous, and it's a win-win for everyone. So when you look at some of the other operators that I've worked for, I'm speaking from personal experience. You're sometimes taught that it's very transactional. Make sure that you protect everything, protect the asset, and I understand the reasons for those, but we kind of take the opposite approach. If you put our people first and your residents first, and you're truly catering and serving, that will come. It will all come, and it will work to the benefit of everybody that has a stake in it. So,
What are your aspirations, your hopes for Liv and Liv Plus, 10 years from now?
Yeah. Well, I don't think you have to look any further than the Live Why. It's to help people live fuller lives. And you have as I mentioned earlier, a huge demographic shift and the opportunity to help that population of people now live the next chapter of their life in a meaningful way. And then you stack the Live values, on top of that opportunity with people that live out those values, from Scott to Heidi to everybody in the organization. It's just living and breathing. It's not just, something that's stuck on a card and put in a desk drawer. And so I think to bring that momentum, if you will, into this 55 plus labeled demographic is a fabulous opportunity. And what better organization to bring all this combined experience to the table. And true, we have to do what we can to not guard against, but to effectively manage on behalf of the resident more than anybody, the aging in place phenomenon. Just because you're moving to live 55 plus, there's not a guarantee card that says you're no longer will you continue to age. That didn't come with it. And so I think learn to manage that well with people that live there is a great opportunity for us. And I believe the team is smart enough to meet that challenge, especially with the opportunity to look at wellness and this new sweeping concept of longevity, focused not only for lifespan, but for a health span as well to go with it. And this population of people, they want to be healthy. They want to be Scott Brooks's mentality of health and to serve their grandkids or to serve the rest of their family or whoever it is that may be included in their purpose. They want to do that. And so it's exciting to have this 20 on. So.